So the ABC News publicity department just sent me these photos of myself. I'm not sure which one to like. Which one do you like the most? I'm not sure which one to pick. I mean, this one I think is really nice.
He'd never make it on Survivor with this headshot crap. At least it's not that doll.
Nice, but it's not really,
I hate to tell him, he looks pretty much the same in all of them.
Hair,
pale and sickly.
I'm smiling, though, so
I think I'll just agree with him, and maybe he'll just stop.
I mean, I'm smiling.
You know, this kind of reminds me of an interview I did the other day.
It's funny. It's me. It's kind of nice.
Did you ever see one of those stories on the news that makes you go, now what the heck was he thinking? You know, what was going through Darva's head? Or did Mr. Clinton really think no one would ever find out about the intern? What possesses people sometimes? David Weiner has an idea. He's the author of Battling the Inner Dummy, the craziness of apparently normal people, and he's here with us this morning. Good morning, David.
Good morning.
You're not talking about someone like crazy Aunt Mary who you expect to do crazy things. You're talking about bright, articulate people who kind of go off the scale. What causes them to do that?
Well, it's a part of our brain they never tell us about. You know, it's the old animal brain. It was designed for the caves, and I call it the inner dummy because it's oblivious to reality. A good example is a friend of mine was in an elevator accident at the age of 10. At the age of 60, she still won't go in one, you know, despite every rational persuasion. It has its own thinking mechanism, and it doesn't always relate to modern times.
Now, so does your past experience help feed the inner dummy, egg it on, like you said, with your friend who had an accident when she was 10 in an elevator?
Yeah, it'll actually take imprints. I mean, if you think of what went on in the caves, there were no police forces, there was no military, you know. So we had these programs, you know, status program and territorial program. So if some stranger came over the hill, we'd learn to hate them because that was really good. Nurturance program, you know, you want to nurture people so you'll have more babies and so forth. And a survival program. And these are all basic programs. And the inner dummy also has a reward and punishment system. If you meet its expectations, it makes you happy. You know, you watch the basketball games, the winners always look happy, and the losers look sad. I mean, this is part of that system, and we go for it. We fall for it. It's just crazy.
Now tell me, the brain you write is a sectionalized brain. What do you mean by that, and how does that pertain to this whole issue?
Well, according to most of the neurosciences, the brain evolved in stages. And so this old limbic brain, this old animal brain, this inner dummy brain was the first one. And then the cortex grew on top of that, and it only weighs about a pound. I mean, everything we think with and create with weighs about a pound, and the animal brain, to be simple about it, weighs about 2 pounds. So, I mean, the odds are against us. The idea is to try to keep the new brain in balance with the old one, and most of us succeed in that, but a lot of us don't, and it doesn't make any difference how smarter you are or how much power you have. It affects us all. Now, the limbic drives, this animal brain's drives, what are the basic things it wants? Number one, it wants survival. It wants sex because we have to reproduce. And in order to do all that, it tries to create order. Think of the caves again, you know. We need a status symbol. So a number 10 on the power scale is like the alpha male or alpha female. And in this case, these drives there's no difference between sexes. There's many alpha females as alpha males. And if you're an alpha male, you have high power, low nurturance. That means you can hit somebody on the head and won't feel bad. Low fear, so you can meet all the challengers. But today, it's the age of the nerds. You know, I mean, it's our intellect that really counts, but yet, you know, this inner brain, this inner dummy still can make us do stupid things. Is there anything we can do to sort of educate this inner dummy to make it behave properly so that you won't get yourself in trouble? Yeah, it's tough. You know, that's why we have, you know, the mothers and fathers that try to tame this. It's like being a lion tamer, you know, to try to tame it. And if you're successful, most of us grow up, you know, pretty well balanced, but there's about 10% of people in the world that are just creating all this havoc, and we're not studying this inner side of the brain enough to be able to figure out ways to do it. But there are ways. We were talking earlier, something I thought about that really pertains to this is road rage, which we've seen a lot of lately. Yes. Seemingly normal people just going off the deep end. Well, that's a perfect example of it. I mean, if you're in a car moving down the street and you blink your light, you want to go in the other lane, you're asking permission to do that. You're asking permission of the other guy's territorial program, which is like an anthropologist named Jared Diamond. He used to go down the river in New Guinea. Now, if he asked the tribal chief if he could go down the river, it was okay. If he forgot one time, they came back, they had spears out, you know. So you always have to do these little things. Are you concerned at all that someone might take your book as an excuse? I've got this brain, this is programmed in me, I can go off and do whatever I want. No, it's not an excuse, because we have the thinking power. The problem is recognizing when we have a problem, and then if we recognize we have a problem, you know, addictions and all kinds of things, addictions to beliefs and addictions to people. I mean, look at the divorce rate. Then there's something you can do about it, but the problem is most people don't know they have a problem.
You write about that sometimes it isn't like an addiction, like the depression, you use that as an example of an inner dummy kind of gone wrong when someone becomes depressed and it just takes over everything.
Yes, exactly.
How do you fight that?
Well,
taking over.
The book lists all kinds of therapies that you can use, but the most prevalent one, the one that's fast and quick, is what they call cognitive therapy, where you actually confront the distortion. Yes, I am depressed, or yes, I have a phobia. I mean, a good friend of mine, Lisa Henry, I mean, she has what they call crematophobia, fear of spending small amounts of money. And she's rich, but she won't make a phone call for a hotel room. She'll always go downstairs and to save 50 cents. Well, now, if she wanted to confront it, you know, and she has an 80% chance of being cured. That's usually the success rate is about 80%.
So you're telling these smart people they have to fess up to their inner dummy that it exists.
You got to fess up. It's there.
All right, David Weiner, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Allison.
You're watching World News Now.